All right. This is the Chapter 2 review, page 46-47, question number 7. We have multiplication and subtraction. We're going to try to do anything we can to simplify. Can we do anything to simplify the expression on the left? No. Is the variable z I'm trying to isolate on both sides? No, so it's time to undo. Which of those two do you undo first? And what undoes subtraction? Addition. Of equality. So we add 15 to both sides. We get 5/6. Z is equal to 50. Now we've got multiplication. On page 25 at the bottom, it says you undo multiplication by division or multiply by the reciprocal. And you need to memorize all that because you need it. You need that or multiply by the reciprocal to jump out. Because you wouldn't believe how many people raise their hand and say, I don't know how to do this one, because they saw a fraction. So you need to memorize from page 25, example 3, undo multiplication by division or multiply by the reciprocal. We use the or multiply by the reciprocal when we're dealing with a fraction. Good. And so we get z equal. That'll cross reduce to a 1 and a 10. 10 times 6 is 60, so z equals 60. Any questions on number 7? Number 8. Number 8, we have parenthesis, division, and addition. Parenthesis, division, addition. Can we do anything to simplify? No. Emotional. Those songs get me. I'm trying to hang on too. Anyway, tough stuff. That's on recording in it. I forgot. Anyway, parentheses. Can we do anything to simplify? We can't do what's in the parentheses because you can't multiply or add. Can you distribute the division? You actually can. We could distribute the division, and so if we did, we would have 5/3 n plus 6 divided by 3 is 2, plus -7 equal 5. We could do that and then combine like terms and then get rid of the 5/3. But we don't have to. Instead of doing the distributive, we could avoid that fraction situation by just starting to undo. If we skip the doing to avoid that fraction and just start undoing, which one do you undo first? Addition. And that is actually 7 what? Negatives. So what gets rid of 7 negatives? 7 positives. So we got to be careful on this one because it looks like we're getting rid of addition with addition. But remember page 29, we said you undo addition or subtraction using opposite signs producing a 0. You undo addition or subtraction using opposite signs producing a 0. You undo multiplication or division using the same sign producing a positive 1. So we can get rid of addition by addition as long as we have a sign change, correct? And so we're going to get 5n plus 6 divided by 3 is equal to 5 plus 7 is 12. Now my operations are parenthesis and division. Which of those two do you undo first? Division. What undoes division? Multiplication. So we multiply both sides by 3. This side's a fraction, so we want to do it as a fraction. This side is a whole number, so we do a whole number. But we're multiplying both sides by 3 to undo division. And so the 3's cancel. They actually reduce to a 1, right? And we get 5n plus 6 equal 36. So we undid addition, then we undid multiplication. Now we undo what was in the parenthesis. What was in the parenthesis was multiplication and addition. Which of those two do you undo first? Addition. What gets rid of addition? Subtraction. And so we get 5n is equal to 30. Now we're going to undo multiplication by division, and we get n is equal to 6. Any questions on number 8? All right, any questions on 7 and 8? All right, number 9. Number 9, we're trying to solve. To solve, we're going to do anything we can to simplify each side down as far as we can. So we do, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, to simplify the expression. When we get to multiplication and division, we look for distributive. When we get to addition and subtraction, we look for combining like terms. Good. So we have multiplication, parenthesis, subtraction. Over here we have multiplication, addition, addition, multiplication, addition. On the left side, which one of those would I do first? Parentheses. Can you do what's in the parentheses? You can't multiply. You can't add. So you can't do what's in the parentheses. We get to multiplication. When you get to multiplication and division, you look for what does distributive look like? Multiplication or division crammed on a parenthesis. Good. So do we see distributive? Yes. So we're going to distribute the 4 through the parenthesis. So we get 4 times negative 3 is negative 12d. 4 times 5 is 20. When you multiply with the same sign, the answer is positive, so we put a plus, and then we have minus 8, and then equal. And then we're going to see if we can do one step to simplify the other side. On the right side, we have multiplication and addition. Which of those do you do first? Multiplication. Can you do 6 times d? Nope. Can you do negative 2 times d? Nope. So that takes us to addition or subtraction. When you have addition and subtraction, you look for combining like terms. Do we find like terms? Yes, sir. We got and negative 2d, and then we have 7, negative 27. So the d's are like terms, and the numbers are like terms. And so we're going to combine like terms using sign rules. Now, do we put a plus 2d plus 2d? No, when do you do plus plus? When you're crossing equal sign. We're not messing with the equal sign here, right? So we don't do the plus plus thing. We combine like terms using sign rules. The sign of the 6 is positive. The sign of the 2 is negative. When you add or subtract with different signs, you subtract. 6 minus 2 is 4. Larger sign, positive, so we get positive 4d. We combine our numbers. The sign of the 7 is positive. The sign of the 27, negative. When you add or subtract with different signs, you subtract. 27 minus 20. 27 minus 7 is 20. There were more negatives, so it's negative, and so we put a minus to show that it's negative. So we got that? Brand new problem because it's a brand new step, so we want to see if there's anything we can do to simplify the left. We have multiplication, addition, subtraction. Which one would you do first? Multiplication. So we've got negative 12 times d. Can you do that? Nope. So it takes you to addition and subtraction. When you got addition and subtraction, you look for combining like terms. Whew. When you add or subtract with subtract and take the larger, which is positive, so we put a plus. So we get negative 12d plus 12 equal. Can I do anything to simplify the right? Nope. So I get 4d minus 20. All right, brand new problem. Can I do anything to simplify the left? Nope. Can I do anything to simplify the right? No. What's the second thing in our order of operations horseshoe? Good. Get the variable that we're isolating on one side of the equal sign. Now we're messing with the equal sign. Now there's got to be a plus, plus, minus, minus, times, divide, divide, right? Because we're doing it to both sides of the equal sign. Get the variable that we're isolating on one side of the equal sign, remembering to change the sign when you cross over. That's a D. Now, what's the sign of the 12? The sign of the 4? Negative, because it's a minus. When you add or subtract with the same sign, you add and take the common sign negative. So be careful, because your brain's going to see a 12 minus 4 and throw out an 8. You have to stop and think through your signs. 15D plus 12 is equal to, carry the minus as a sign, negative 20. Let's see what we got there. Now we have a brand new problem. Can we do anything to simplify? Nope. Are there variables on both sides? No, so it's time to, which of those two do you undo first? And what undoes addition? Subtraction. So we're getting better, right? But we got to watch our signs. We get negative 16D equal. What is the sign of the 20? Negative. What is the sign of the 12? Negative, because the minus makes it a negative. When you add or subtract with the same sign, you add and take the common sign. So we have to know our sign rules. Our sign rules are on page 18. Good. Sign rules on page 18 if you need to learn them. Now we've got multiplication. What undoes multiplication? Division, property of equality. And so we get D is equal to, when you multiply or divide with the same sign, the answer is positive 2. Now let's backtrack a little bit so we get all this down. This is important. If it's on the same side and you're combining like terms, you do plus 2D, no, because you didn't cross over the equal sign. You're combining like terms using sign rules. When you want to move something from one side to the other, that's when you do the minus thingy, right? When you undo addition or subtraction, you should see what? Opposite signs, producing a 0. When you undo multiplication or division, you should see the same sign producing a... What we did really is we turned that plus 12 into a 0. And we turned that negative 16 into a 1. And what we now have is a 1D plus 0. Because we changed the 12 to a 0, and we changed the negative 16 to a 1. And what is 1 times D? And what is D plus 0? D. So by using the additive inverse, we produce the additive identity 0. By using the multiplicative inverse, we produce the multiplicative identity 1. And 1 times D plus 0 is D. So again, if you'll say that in your mind, to undo addition or subtraction, we need to see opposite signs. When you get rid of multiplication and division, you need to see the same sign. You won't make some of those errors. Some people would divide by positive 16 there, okay, and not know why you're supposed to divide by negative 16. Any questions on any of the solving stuff? All right, that takes us to the word sentences then. Number 10, we have 5 less than M. Less than means that I am losing, and what am I losing? The 5, so it's a minus sign. Does what I'm losing go first or second? Second. What I'm losing goes after the minus sign. What goes before it? What I started with. What I started with goes before the minus. What I'm losing goes after the minus. And the order is important, right? Understand that? 4 more than. 4 more than means that I am gaining. What am I gaining? 4. And so it's a plus, and where does the 4 go? After the plus, because that's what I'm gaining. What goes before the plus? What I started with, and what did I start with? 3 times W, 3W. They see we got that? So we went from a one-operation expression to a two-operation expression, and now we're going to take it one step further by adding a subject and a verb. What do you put where the subject verb is? Equal. So we put H equal. H equal 8 less than means that I am losing. What am I losing? 8. So I'm going to have a minus, and where does the 8 go? After the minus, because that's what I'm losing. 8 less than what? Twice Q to Q. What did we use this comparison between two character statements for when we did our word problem homework? We used them for something every single time. What do we do with that every single time? We substituted. Page 42 says you cannot do the order of operations unless you have only one variable or one name. If you have more than one, you must write one in terms of the other and use substitution. Let's say we had another equation with H stuff. We would take out the H and put that in, right? That's what we use those for every single time. To be able to do the order of operations, you can only have one variable or one name. If you have more than one, you must name one in terms of the other and use substitution. All right, so we learned that so that we could handle our word problems. All right. Now, sometimes it is not subject-verb form. If it's not subject-verb, what do? Because it's not subject-verb like that, we're going to write big equal. Because we don't know if it's G equal or F equal. And so, or R. We don't know if it's G equal or R equal. And so we're going to put big equal. Big equal what? Twice. So, 2 littles. The big one is 2 little ones. 2 little ones make a big one. The big one equal 2 times a little one. All we got to do now is figure out which one is the big one. It's going to be obvious. There's twice as much G. If there's twice as much G, G is the big one, which means R is the little one, so it's G equal to R. Everybody see how to use the big little trick and know when to use the big little trick? Yes, ma'am. The big one's always by itself, but unless it said little one is half the big one. But then you see, it could say half or third, then you got to think backwards. Little is half big or little is. So you could have a little big statement if you were thirding or halving or fourthing or fifthing. I'm not, but who knows what the tax test is going to do. You never know about them. So, you know, it's very possible to get. I've never seen it on tax, really. Kind of, but you know what the tax, it says Marcia gave half of her cookies to somebody who gave a third to somebody who gave a fourth to somebody. So it was actually about like that, wasn't it? So we had to think through that. You could use the little big. Little is, right? Anna has 1/3 of Marcia's because Marcia gave her a third. That's pretty close to what we're talking about on a tax test. 2003 exit level taxes. Or 2004, whatever. One of those tax tests, it was on it. All right. Any questions so far here? So, yeah, it could be a little big situation if you're fractions instead of whole numbers. The quotient of 8 less than B and 5 more than J. What does quotient mean? Division. And what rule comes to mind? The plus minus times or divide goes where the and is. That's rule 1, page 37, right? So we're going to replace that and with a division sign. What was before it stays before it. What was after it stays after it. We're not changing the order like we did with less than and more than. Before the divide, we have this statement. It's 8 less than. Less than means that I am losing. What am I losing? The 8. So it's a minus 8. 8 less than what? B. So B is what I started with. On the other side, I have 5 more than. More than means that I am gaining. What am I gaining? The 5. And so the 5 goes where? after the plus. 5 more than J, so the J goes first. Now this is intending for you to find the quotient of this and that. And so we need parentheses because order of operations says you do division first. So according to order of operations, we do 8 divided by J, take that answer, subtract it from B, and take that answer and add 5. That's not what was intended. It intends that we take this and do it first, and then that, and then take that answer and divide. So to be able to do a lower operation like subtraction and addition before division, you have to put those lower operations in parentheses. Rule 2, page 37 says, if you multiply something to or divide something by a sum or difference, then you have to put that sum or difference in parentheses. Rule 2, page 37. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if that was a multiplication, you could leave the times sign out because 2 together automatically means multiplication. How else could you write this division? You could put a fraction bar, right? B minus 8 over J plus 5. You could write it as a fraction, and then the parentheses are understood, right? That's an okay way to represent that. Any questions there? All right. Next page, I was hoping we get to some of the word problems. I'm going a little bit fast. I want to get through if we can. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Or was there 15 or 16 on the tip? Only 15, so I left out the consecutive integers. I didn't want that on tape, though, because now everybody listening is going to know it's not on the test. But that's okay. They're going to find out sooner or later, aren't they? Y'all didn't know that. Y'all had to study it. Anyway, number 15, the sum of Kelly and Deanna's grade 127, and Kelly won, by the way. The sum, is that right? Why? It's I, isn't it? I'm ashamed. Did I fix it in the regular books? Bummer. Joe told me that I never got that fixed. I meant to fix it before I print it again. Y'all write in your book, take the Y out and put an I. Yeah, we got to have this right. Yeah, pen. We want it to be, it doesn't matter. Just make it spelled right. K-E-L-L-I instead of K-E-L-L-Y. I meant to fix that before I print it again. Yeah, this is important. This is special people here. The sum of Kelly and Deanna's grades was 127. If Kelly had made the 40, she wouldn't want me to do this probably. The sum of Kelly and Deanna's grades is 127. Kelly scored 7 more than twice Deanna. What did each girl score on the test? The first thing we're going to put on our paper is characters. Characters. I think it's fixed for the but I'm not sure. If it's not, I'll fix it. Now, we find our characters in our word sentences, right? So we go to looking for word sentences. What could word sentences be? AA, comparison between two characters. You find this on page 40, right? RB, formulas like perimeter, area, volume, etc. Good. C. Right. Yeah, sentences containing words like total, sum, difference, product, quotient. Things that mean add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Good. All right, so we read our first sentence. It says the sum of Kelly and Deanna's grades was 127. Is that an A, B, or C? From page 40. C. It's a C. What makes it a C? No, what makes it a C? The word sum. We're on the first line. If you have a word like sum, difference, product, quotient, or a formula word like perimeter, area, volume, circumference, what do I want on my word sentence line? 3 things. Word, verb, result. Word, verb, result. We got it. Word, verb, result. So I'm going to put on my word sentence line, sum was 127. The sum of what was 127? Deanna and Kelly's grades. So Deanna's plus Kelly's was 127. Now I'm not going to write it out yet. I'm just thinking about my equation because I'm looking for what right now? Characters. Where do I find my characters? in my word sentence. What characters involved? Well, the things I'm adding up, Kelly and Deanna's grades. So my characters are Kelly's grade and Deanna's grade. I did. Grad. And so we have K for Kelly and D for Deanna. So we need how many word sentences since we have two variables? Two, so we're going to have another word sentence, right? So we go looking for another word sentence, and we read the second one. Kelly scored 7 more than twice Deanna. That is an A, B, or C? A. It is a comparison between two characters. What do I need if it's a comparison between two characters? First of all, the characters. Second of all, the verb. That's the three most important things you need if it's a comparison between two characters. After that, you're looking for things that mean add, subtract, multiply, divide. 7 more than, what does that mean? Add, we need it. Twice means we need it. We need everything. We've already got our characters assigned. Kelly K. Kelly K, it's Deanna K. That blows your mind, doesn't it? Kelly K scored. It's Kelly K. It's Kelly something. She might not want me to. And it's Deanna K. Middle names. Anyway, Kelly scored 7 more than twice Deanna. Kelly scored 7 more than twice Deanna. So we have a comparison between two characters. So we read and understood the story. We identified the character or characters of the story. We wrote out word sentences which could be a comparison between two characters, forming words like perimeter, area, volume, or sentences containing words like total, sum, difference, product. Now what do? Change those into mathematical equations. So sum was 127. What's that going to become? What Kelly scored K plus what Deanna scored D is equal to 127. Second one, Kelly scored, what do you put where subject verb is? K equal. 7 more than means that we are gaining 7. So we put the plus after the 7 after the plus, right? 7 more than what? Twice D, 2D. Page 42 says, to be able to do the order of operations, you can only have one variable, one name. If you have more than one, then you need to name one in terms of the other and use substitution. We always use those comparison statements to substitute with. Okay? So we're going to take out the K. We're going to put in its place 2D plus 7, and then plus D is equal to 127. So we blended our equations by substitution. We're down to one variable, so now we can solve using the order of operations. So we say, is there anything I can do to simplify the expression? And please excuse my endurance. When I get to multiplication and division, I look for distributive. When I get to addition and subtraction, I look for combining like terms. I have multiplication, addition, addition. Can I do the multiplication? I'm going to look for distributive. Is there distributive? What does distributive look like? Something crammed on a what? There's not any parentheses, so I don't see any distributive. I go to addition and subtraction. When I get to addition and subtraction, I look for, do I find like terms? Yes, 2D and D. What's D and another one? 3 of them. 3 of those little D's plus 7 equal 127. Can I do anything to simplify? Nope. Variables on both sides? Nope. Time to undo. I'm going to undo addition first by subtraction. We get 3D equal 120. Undo multiplication by division. And we get Deanna made a 40. Not good. But the question is, what did each girl score? So I need to know what Kelly scored. So how do I find that out? I substitute that back in for Deanna over there, or I can substitute it into this one. Substitute it into either of the two equations. So we get that Kelly scored 2 times what Deanna scored, 40 plus 7. We have multiplication and addition we're doing. We do the multiplication first. 2 times 40 is 80 plus 7. So Kelly made an 87. All right. Any questions on any of that? Yes. Yeah, everywhere it says Kelly, make it an I. There we go. Sorry about that. Any questions on page 48? All right.